Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and today I want to talk about solar fountains, which ones are good, which ones are not so good, and what they look like when you get them. I'm going to start with the real basic one. They come in a real simple box, and these are the ones that I'm using all over. Simple panel, simple little pump, and then it comes with all those doodads. You can go back and check all my videos. I even showed in one of them exactly how to use them. Now, this is somewhat important depending on how you're going to set it up. But the most important thing is the cord. See, this cord is really long, and that's what you want. Because this way, this goes out in the sun, and this goes into your project. And these are, you're going to use that to hook on the tubings, unless you want to use the sprayers. But this is the most important thing, this long cord. And it's going to work for all your projects. Now this particular one, brand new, see there's no tab on it, which means there's no film. Like some of them have a protective film. I'll show you some as we get to it. So you don't have to worry about removing anything. There's nothing here to remove. It's ready to go. Just build your project and that's it. Now let's kind of go through them. Here's another one you can buy. A lot of these cost me 10 bucks, so I just went through and bought them. Again, comes with a whole bunch of doodads. This one only comes with the plastic on the panel. There's no tab, so this one is protecting the panel this way. Now let me tell you something. Though it comes with extra things to bring height, this just, you can build it like a puzzle. I have taken these apart. They snap apart. Now this one would sit on the bottom of your, let's say, pond or big project. It's a pretty big one. And then all these little things, we're not going to go over every single one or we'll be here for the next 2 hours, but just kind of basically. So this is legs. This one actually has legs that you can screw onto the bottom, and then this would stand upright, give a good water flow. I've never used the legs on it, but this one does have legs. They all have different things. You kind of have to think about what you're going to use it for your project. Do you need a big one? Do you need a small one? They all generally are between 1.5-ish watts to about 2.5 watts. And that's plenty for you. So you've got the panel and again the long cord, which is very important, and the parts. This does snap apart. You're supposed to just open it. And that's how it comes apart. What I'm going to probably do with this particular model is just take the pump out and use it like that, because that's all I need. And it's a good pump, and that's how this goes in here. This is basically to catch the debris that can get clogged in there, and you can put it all back together, and then it just snaps back in. So if you wanted to not have the base, you can snap it apart. Then you've got, oh, this one I bought recently. This one is really nice. Same type of pump. I love these pumps. These small pumps are what you need. That's the pump you need. This one actually has a stand for the solar panel. Look at this. And you can move it to where the sun would be. And then you build the stand up. It comes with all the parts. And then you would just stick this in the ground. And then you would face it towards the sun. Isn't that cool? And they're not that much money. If you start looking around, you'll see some of them are $10, $15. But this is really nice, and this is glass. No protective cover on it, so I don't have to worry about pulling anything. And it's still, this one is a 2 watt, and then it's got the panel there, easy to clean. Really, really nice. This is the pump you need. This is how you would hook it up. The same way it comes with all the parts. They come with instructions. Sometimes the instructions are good, and sometimes they're not. Then you can get into larger ones. These do cost a little bit more, and if you want something a bit larger, they can run up to 8 watts. I've never bought an 8 watt, but I do have 5 watts. And then this you would lay somewhere. This doesn't have a stand. And then see the pump? Still a small pump, but you've got, you may have less sun. This will bring in the sun, and it will run on the solar. It's a big panel. So see, it's the same small pump. And then it's just set up where you can, different ways of setting it up, so in case it had a float or something. And then it does come with your parts, not as many parts, but the only thing I need is the one basic part that goes on. If it doesn't go on, I attach my stuff to it. But this is why you want to look it over before you buy it and see what it comes with, all right? Is this one. This one is another one. I picked it up for like 10 bucks. The motor is in here, the pump. Comes with all kinds of stuff, which is really cool. But what I like on this is the glass panel. Now again, you're going to want to take the sticker off because it lets you know that there is a sticker. So all that would come off, but there is nothing on here. This is just the sticker. So that comes off, and then your pump, they have suction cups, is in there. But this can come apart, and you can use the pump if you want just the pump. This one's not bad, but again, it goes deep inside there. A little more complicated, these, because you've got to figure out exactly how to put them back together afterwards. They have filters. And then they come with different attachments and stuff. This is just another sprayer. So these are good too, and then this is for your stand. This has a stand. This, you put this together here, and then once that is together, it goes in here. What's nice is you can stick it in the ground and you have a stand to go in the ground, because none of the others have a stand. And if you didn't have any place on the ground, you could always tape this when it's like this together on a pole. So it's nice when they have a post like that, because then it's much easier to deal with. Then you've got this one. That's it. Your pump is here. It does come with sprayers and stuff like the other ones, but this is it. Now, this one has a tab. See the tab? And that's where you would peel it, and it's got the protective sealer. You'd want to take that off when it's got a tab, and it will tell you to peel off, because if you don't and it sits out in the sun, that plastic will melt into your solar panel, and then at that point it could ruin it. Now here's the deal with this. I can't do much with this. The pump is attached to the solar panel. See? Now you still can take it apart and clean it. This thing does still come off to clean, but the point is this is a floater. Now this particular floater is going to be in water all the time. And though you know, it's not underwater, it's always wet, and I have found these don't last more than a year. Gary had one, it was just within the year, it was completely disintegrated. Now what was really cool on here is this one, I just bought it. I'm going to put it out in the ponds. Comes with straws, and I thought, what's the straws? This was cool. Clips and straws. You clip, there's 4 straws here, to the foam. You're going to clip on your straws. I can see there's actually divots here to put your clips in. Now the reason it's that way is as it's floating around in your pond, sometimes what happens is it gets to the edge and then it all sprays out of your pond. So you'd be working on it, and putting it out, and then you go back and your pond is empty. I've seen this happen at a nursery. I had to go in there and tell them, your solar unit just emptied out your bird bath. So they had to run out there and get it, because you can burn out the motors if you leave it too long with the sun beating on it and no water. With this, it won't let it get to the edge. So it would get to the edge and bump it and go somewhere else. So this was a good thought that they put into it, because they didn't have this before. But the same doodads come with it, the different types of sprayers, which is really good. And if this is for you, if you've got a simple bird bath and with the straws now keeping it from going too far, check out which sprayer you want. This may be good enough for you, but just keep in mind they don't last that long. We won't be making cups or anything with it, though I've got ideas what I could do with this, and I probably will when I set it out there. This is very basic. Now there's a few other things we can do too. If you do not have sun, you can go with electric. Now you've got one that will run on a USB cord, and it will run on this is a power bank for my phone, and you would plug it in and then turn it on. It's only going to run as good as your power bank is. So it might run for days if you go turn it off, or it might run for hours. Now these motors, though it does a pretty good job, do burn out quick, I have found. All right, and I've had it sometimes where it stops working, I bring it in, the next day it's cooled down and it runs again. They're really hard to take apart, so I'm not going to recommend cleaning these because they almost look like they're Some of them are kind of melted together and they're glued together so they're one piece. So you may have to flush it out differently. They don't last that long. Now this one, on the other hand, if you've got electricity, they're fantastic. Look at this. They come with their plugs and stuff. You can add on your tubing or anything you want, but you will need an outlet. Now I've got more ideas coming, but we're not going to talk about it today because I haven't done it yet, but I know what I'm going to be doing. Now, if you can run an extension cord, if it's a patio and you've got electricity, this will be the way to go. It will run when you turn it on and be off when you turn it off. This one also has an adjustable flow, which is fantastic if you want a gentle flow, and you can absolutely, with this cord, because it does submerge in the water, not the ends, but the rest, this cord can. You can do the cups and all the fancy bowls and different things that I make. You can use this. I happen to really, really like this electric pump. And they come in different wattages. This one doesn't save, but a lot of them are anywhere from, I've seen them as low as 2, and they can go up to 10. You don't need it that big. We're not using a whole lot of flow. So keep that in mind when you're buying it. If you see this in the picture and you don't see a cord, if this is not what you want and you get it, you won't be able to use it, okay? You can't take it apart and do anything with it because there's no cord. It only has a cord that long, which is right there. And so it's not going to be able to do the fancy stuff with the balls or with the bowls or anything because it's really, really short. Though I think we can build it up and do something with it. It's only going to be as far in the water as this, which may work for some of you. And maybe we'll do a project on that soon. But I know that most of you are looking for the corded ones. This is the basic, most favorite one of all. So keep that in mind. A simple small pump. Comes with a few of your little sprayers, but of course you've also got the lifts and things, so you can add on a straw, you can add on tubing. All this goes on to this, and this is how you're going to build it. This is the best. In the winter, I have found these as low as about $8, and I see they're already starting to come down right now, even though we're in summer. Then, as spring comes in and people start buying them, I've seen them as high as $50. Don't ever spend $50. They're not worth $50. Now you can get them online. I put some affiliated links. I get a couple pennies. If you've got them cheaper, get them where you want. But I buy them on eBay and I put the links on there for you. This is where I bought all of these. Every single one came from eBay. You cannot get these in the stores. I don't know why, but I've asked. I have seen this one in a nursery once, but they don't seem to carry these. And when they do carry them, somebody said they had a store special order them. They paid like $50. You don't need to pay $50. You really shouldn't spend more than $20, and you should be able to find them cheaper than that. This is the perfect one. This is the one that you want. All you have to do is get it in the sun with this super long cord, do your project, and it will be perfect. It doesn't even need full sun. A lot of times, even when it's a little cloudy, it will still work. These are so great. So these are my favorite ones. You can't put electricity on these because that is your electricity. But I think this is what most of you are looking for. Now, some of you said you want to buy them only from companies in the United States. I'm going to tell you right now, they don't make them in the United States. Unless they started today, they do not make them in the United States. Somebody sent me the information on where you can get them. They said they were made in the United States. It was a company back east. I actually called them, went to talk to the owners to find out that they were buying them from China. This is where they're coming from. But what I do want you to do is I want you to get them that are here already. The companies that brought them in, that's where you want to buy them, because if you buy them from within the United States, you'll get them within a week. If you buy them where they have to be shipped in from China, it could take 3 months. And eBay, all your other stores will not stand behind the wait time. If you don't get them and you ask for your money back, they will say, according to tracking, it's in the system and you have to wait. That's why I don't want you to buy it unless it says that it will be there. Let's say it's the 1st. It says it will be there by the 7th. If you buy it on eBay and you have not received it by the 7th, eBay will stand behind that, put in a claim, and within 4 days they will issue you back your money. They always have for me. But if you buy it where it's coming from out of the country, they can wait 3 to 4 months. And that is what I don't want you to do. You can go back and check my videos. I've told you what tubing. I get the tubing on eBay, but I also have gotten this at the tropical fish store because people use it for their fountains and their pumps and their aquariums and everything. This particular one that seems to work the best is 5/16 inside dimension. So that's the inside. In other words, it's going to be 5/16 on the inside. And then the outside doesn't matter, but this one is 7/16 on the outside if you measured it. But the 5/16 is what you want. You can go a little bigger or a little smaller. Now, if it's too small and you can't get it onto any of your connections, because you can put it directly on here, you can put it on here, so you have a flexibility of size, you can make the tubing a little bit bigger using a hot glue gun. You put it in, I'll see, let me open this tubing real quick. I have videos on that. You would go on the inside of the tubing and you would work it and soften it, and as soon as it's soft enough, you'll be able to get it on. Okay, that's one way. The other way is you can use a soldering iron. Same thing, carefully, you heat up the soldering iron, you work your way around it, and then you'll be able, with the soldering iron, to slip it on. Another thing is, if it's too big, the tubing, you've seen it in my videos, I've taken some of the painter's tape, doesn't matter which type, and you can wrap it around. I'm not going to get into details because I've got all the videos on there, and you can put it in. So if it's too small, you can do it that way. One other thing on this, the smaller the tubing, if you're going to use a drinking straw, because some of them will use a straw, this one's a big fat straw, this is perfect. But if you had a skinny straw, it will create more of a flow. Then you may not want that much flow. So keep that in mind too. The bigger the straw, the slower the flow. It will go up. So if you're giving, let's say, making a bath for a hummingbird and you want them to have the water trickle, it will go up the larger tubing and trickle down. If you have a smaller tubing, it will spray. And a hummingbird doesn't want to go there and be kicked into the air. So keep that in mind. There's times you'll see some of my videos where I've actually attached a larger tubing on the end, so as the water comes up, it will fill the tube and then trickle down. That's it. I wanted to go over the different pumps. I'll show you this one real quick. I've only got one of these set up, but this one is the big 5 watt, and it is big. You can find them online. They're much bigger than all the others. They come with all kinds of things. They generally sell for they could sell for $50+, and this is a really big panel. So I don't know if you need it. You don't need it for the projects we work with. Absolutely, without a doubt, you don't need something that big. But some people do need a bigger one, and so I can understand why they would go out and get it. Because they need more power. Maybe they're lifting it 3, 4, 5 feet. These will only go 12 inches, sometimes 18 inches up. So if you're trying to lift something up to go into a big project you're making, like you want to bring it way up, these won't work. It's a little pump, so it's only going to get up a little bit and then it's going to fizzle out. And eventually you would burn out the pump. The big ones, yes, they have a strong pump to them and they will pump that water up and come out. So you have to decide on your project. But something really simple, a bowl with a cup or something, this is my favorite one out of all of them. These come apart so easy to clean that you just pop them apart, clean them out, because a lot of times you throw them out thinking that they're no good, and I will tell you I'm running some of these that are 4 years old and still running. All you have to do is take them apart, clean them up, get all the gunk out of the little motor inside, that little tiny flywheel, put it back together, and you are good to go. So I hope I've answered a lot of your questions on the solar fountain kits, because the kits are so fun. Stay away from this unless you just want to drop it in a great big bowl or in a swimming pool and let it do its thing. Otherwise, this is the go-to. With that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye! So here we're outside in the pouring rain, and we know that in this pouring rain, this is not going to work. The solar panel will not run this pump. So we understand that. Now we do have the option of having this pump. This is the only one that's going to work when it's raining like this and all this stuff. Now the thing is, this does need some sort of battery, a little battery, and I have my phone battery. This is like a phone charger. And look at this. Now this isn't waterproof, so you'd have to put this in something, but this will work perfect! See? And you don't need a solar panel. And you can be running all kinds of water, and it can be raining. And let me tell you something. Oh, it's just empty. The birds aren't taking a bath in the rain anyways. So don't worry if it's pouring and your fountain isn't working. They'll take a bath when the rain stops, because they can take a bath. This thing is popping all over me. They can take a bath anywhere. They can take a bath on leaves, in the street. They don't even want to take a bath. They can just sit out in the rain. So remember, the solar panels do not work in the rain and do not work when it's pouring or when it's overly cloudy. So don't worry about it, but it is perfect on a sunny, sunny day. I gotta get out of here. Yeah, the birds, the hummingbirds are flying around. They think I'm crazy.